Hare Krishna. Are we live? Okay, let's hope this works. Um, so today we were reading the pastime at the end of the 10th canto about um, Vrikasura and how, gosh, this is distracting, and how, well, the question was raised, why do people who worship Lord Shiva get all kinds of opulence and people who worship Krishna end up getting everything taken away? And so Shukadeva Goswami uses the story of Vrikasura uh, to answer, and he gives the exact. And the story of Vrikasura, what I really, without telling everything, is what's important here is that Vrikasura was a demoniac person, and he was worshiping Lord Shiva in order to get the benediction that when he touches somebody's head, their head explodes into a million pieces and they die. So that's how horrible he was. But Lord Shiva is very easily pleased, and so he came and he actually gave the benediction to the demon after being duly worshipped. So then, as soon as Lord Shiva gave him the benediction, Vrikasura wanted to go and touch the demon touch Lord Shiva on the head and kill Lord Shiva, just to test to see if the boon was good. And Lord Shiva started running. And then he ran all the way to Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu very kindly took the form of a brahmachari and, charmingly convinced Vrikasura to test the boon on himself to see if Lord Shiva wasn't lying. And he touched his own head, and his head broke into a million pieces, and he died. So, what we have to learn from this is that when we desire to do bad things to other people, when we do bad things to other people, it comes back to us. And this same point is made in the pastime of Dhruva Maharaj, where Dhruva Maharaj is a small boy and he goes to sit on his father's lap. And the father, who is too much attached to his other wife, not Dhruva's mother, but the other one, Suruchi, Suruchi says, "You can't sit on his lap because you're not my son, and I'm the favorite queen of the king, your father. So, just get off." And Dhruva was very insulted. His father basically pushed him off the lap, and he went running to his mother, and he really wanted to get revenge because it was an injustice. It was totally fair. He had every right to sit on his father's lap. In fact, he was the firstborn son of his father, so he was meant to inherit the kingdom. And so this whole thing of pushing him off the lap was also significant of the fact that he was going to be denied the kingdom. So he was very angry, and he went to his mother, and he was just fuming and wanted to get revenge. And his mother, Suniti, said something very profound and important and instructive for us. She said that you should never desire bad things for others, because if you do, those same bad things will happen to you. So basically, both these pastimes are making a similar point, which is that when we do bad things happen to us. So it's illustrating the law of karma, that as ye sow, so shall ye reap, as it says in the Bible, or what goes around comes around. So why am I talking about this? Because we have this pandemic now, the COVID-19 virus, and I just posted the map from the World Health Organization about which countries are being most severely affected by this virus. And it turns out that it's the first world countries, it's the developed nations. And it's like Europe, America, China, Japan, Australia. And if we look at countries like Africa or little countries that nobody really knows about, they may have many people, but they're not having so much virus. And so it just goes to show that these developed countries are the ones which are more exploiting the resources of the earth. They're exploiting the planet. They're polluting the planet. And so, it's kind of like the planet goes on tolerating and tolerating. Mother Earth is very tolerant, but you could compare it to let's say there's a brother, there's a son in the family, and he has a little sister. So he's always bullying his little sister. And the little sister is very sweet. She's very tolerant. So she's putting up with it and she's just trying to, like laugh it off or whatever. But the brother's just being very mean. And after a while, the father just, he goes to the older brother and he's just like, enough, just stop, just leave your sister alone. And so that's basically what's happening now, is that these developed countries have, for so long just been exploiting the earth and using the resources for, their own narcissistic and, materialistic endeavors. And now God basically is saying, stop. The father is saying, that's enough. Leave your little sister alone. Give Mother Earth a break. And so what's happening now is like these countries, I mean, the whole world basically, but these countries are very extremely affected, is that they're all in lockdown. All the industries are shut down. All the businesses are shut down. Everything is just, basically come to a standstill apart from essential businesses and essential services. And so Mother Earth is getting a break. And they're talking about things like now, the fish have come back into the Venice Canal, and, you can hear the birds singing in cities where you didn't hear them before. So, yeah, we can see how God is really stepping in. And so for ourselves during this time when we're all, stuck in our houses, we can actually use this time to reflect on ourselves individually and how our behavior is what our behavior is going to bring us in return. We should reflect on what we're doing, because when we hurt others, it always comes back to us. So think deeply, are we hurting other human beings? Are we causing unnecessary harm to animals, to plants, to the environment as a whole? And if we are, we need to think about how we can change those things. And do we have attitudes or philosophies of life which promote violence or which promote degradation of morals in society, or just godlessness? And if we do, then we need to think about readjusting them, because these things just lead to problems, as we see happening on a global scale. But on the other hand, if we try to do what's right and try to uphold morality, try to promote God consciousness, and support other human beings, be kind and compassionate to lower beings like animals and the environment, try to live in harmony, then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, text 40, I believe, he says that those who do good, my friend, are never overcome by evil. So this is, and on the other hand, those who do evil will be corrected. And we see that happening, that people are having to really step back and be like, whoa, what is going on? And we have to take this opportunity to think about it. And we can only change ourselves. We can, like they say, be the change that you want to occur in the world. So if everybody changes themselves, the world will change. So we need to look at ourselves, and it's a good time for us to examine our lives and correct ourselves before we are corrected by the laws of nature. So just some thoughts to leave you with for today. Thank you very much, and I wish you all well. Hare Krishna.